Since the dawn of the musket, it had plagued human minds with one question. Is it really better than a bow and arrow? Well, does that question still stand in the post-nuke world? And so today, I set out on an adventure to ask, can you beat Fallout 4 with only a bow? Start out the game by creating a face only a mother could love. Then we continue as per usual by waiting till this shady guy comes around. I figured my name to be by GI or, Big Eye, because Archer and stuff. Then I set my specials to somewhat kind of evenly spread them out because I honestly have no idea what perks I need for the bow. And also, with the bow being a mod, I will be linking that in the description of this. So, yeah. After making my character, we shall sprint over to the vault. Some explosion or something happens, and then we head over to our nice, chilly boy bed. We chill out as we watch our wife die and kid get stolen, but we then exit, grab her ring for some money, because we're not gonna need it, she won't either, and fail over and over to get the Pip-Boy without killing anything. These rad roaches were really something. Get the Pip-Boy and exit the vault. We end up heading back home and start scrapping everything like everybody else. I also end up checking the crafting recipe because I've forgot what it was needed because it's been a hot minute since I've used this mod, and then I end up crafting the first bow and arrow, and then go back to scrapping Sanctuary. After that, we go right into spam shelves for some easy XP. I check what modifications I can do to the bow and start the bug extermination business. Then we head over, talk to the Tin Man, and find out I'm like 200 something years old, and then we head to the city of Concord. Meet a walking backpack, a dog friend, and make our final way over to Concord. Entering the town, we're greeted by some raiders, of which I quickly dispose of. Enter the museum, finish the rest of the raiders, talk to Preston and Sturgis, and something about like power armor on the roof. We then get to the roof, get the minigun for more caps, and end the raiders again until this motherfucking Deathclaw appears. This hands down is the most interesting Deathclaw fight I have ever had because he ends up flying away like a deflating balloon. He randomly reappears over in the corner of my eye, and then I quickly take care of him and the rest of the raiders. Head inside, talk to Preston again, and then Mama Murphy speaks up and tells me about the glorious place called Diamond City. Making my way over to Diamond City, I stop to not really help, but help Paladin Dance and the boys, and they kind of just take care of everything while I sit there and pop off a couple of arrows. Then enter the police station, because inside there is a quick bow upgrade that you can get, and some nuclear arrows, which we will use later. I meet Piper, and then head inside to find Nick Valentine. Turns out that he's, like, not there, and, like, Mama Murphy kind of just, like, has lied to me, but whatever. Turns out he's in Park Street Station and is being held up by like some fat guy or something like that. I'm not too sure. Head over to the Park Street Station, and I decided to fight Swan, and honestly, it went swimmingly. Obviously, with the help of Dogmeat. Enter the station, fight some triggered guys, and do this nice little swift takedown. And then find the synth named Nick. Don't listen to Skinny Malone, just put an arrow in his face, and then head over all the way back to Diamond City. Talk to Nick about some bald guy, and then head over to Fort Hagen to discover it, because it's actually quicker to just fast travel than having dog meat, and you walk. Then we end up breaking into the guy's house to also get more arrows, but most importantly, the new compound bow. Yeah, the Park Street station wasn't, that long of an upgrade. Give the backpack the SIGs and head over to Fort Hagen. Again, shoot the bald guy using the compound bow and a nuke arrow, which is honestly a lot better than I thought. Loot him, and then exit the goddamn fort. After killing the box of cereal, we get to take his nice little brain chip and take it to the memory den. Because in order to get the memory of my fucking child, we need technology and science. Heading over to the memory den, I actually end up behind Goodneighbor instead of like walking through the front like a normal person. I was a bit lazy and didn't want to walk around again to get to the front of Goodneighbor. So I thought, what if you could glitch into Goodneighbor? there's a wall here and there's no like invisible barrier, I would assume. And so I took the shopping cart, prop flied over like it's Half-Life 2, into Good Neighbor. I didn't know you could do this, but, you know, I don't know, is it a speedrunning thing? Probably not. It's probably quicker to just walk through the front, but I got turned around. I found this dude, and I shot him in the face, got some praise from this captain-looking guy, and then headed downstairs to see Dr. Amari. She gave me some, like, science know-how, and oh my god, is that a brain? No, it's the cerebral campus. Or whatever yeah, that thing. You know, the science and stuff. Got in this cool looking chair with a TV, thought I was just gonna watch some cartoons, took a nap, ended up in somebody else's memories. I took a trip down memory lane, and then quickly found out that my son is no longer my little sweet baby boy. Turns out he's kind of old and weird. But I also found out that they could teleport. That's kind of the main reason for the memory trip and watching my wife get shot in the face again. I left the memory den, the chair, and didn't even talk to Nick on my way out. Just dipped. And stopped by the Old North Church quickly so I could actually get there quicker instead of, again, walking around and ending up in the wrong place. So we could discover the railroad ever so slightly quicker. And after discovering the Old North Church, I fully left the town Prosper to find a mysterious man of science named Virgil over in the Glowing Sea. I stopped by my home and sanctuary to deposit some of my junk and other items, and then I decided that I was going to fix the power armor, because I don't have a bunch of Radaway or Rad-X, so the power armor is going to be my best bet at getting through the Glowing Sea. I won't be attacking with it, so the bow and arrow is going to be my weapon, and I can use it in power armor, as we saw during the Deathclaw fight, and how beautiful the third-person animation is. But I wasn't too sure how much battery life was left in my fusion core for the first attempt at using the armor, so I head over to Red Rocket because behind it there's this nifty little mole rat den, where heading inside you're greeted with, big surprise, mole rats, but most importantly, if you come over here, there's this nice little fusion core that you can just nab and head all the way back to Sanctuary so I can pop it in my armor when needed. I then decided put, like lead lining on it, but to get lead lining, you need some fiber optics, of which I don't have, so we're just gonna skip that, and we're just gonna take the power armor over to the Glowing Sea. Before we head over to the Glowing Sea, I kinda need a couple extra fusion cores just in case, since the one in my power armor is basically dead. So, to get them, I will head over to the robotics disposal ground near Sanctuary to nab just a couple extra more fusion cores. Now, when getting here, don't mind the big guy over there and just head inside over to this terminal. On it, you'll be able to activate a tape that then will activate the robot. Don't be scared, he's not going to kill you. He's actually rather friendly. However, we're not so friendly. Instead of going and killing him and wasting some time, we can just activate the self-destruct sequence and watch him explode. I said activate the... Hold on. Activate self-destruct sequence and watch him explode. Why is he not... So it was at this point that I honestly thought the game was broken, or that this didn't work anymore for whatever reason, or that my mod was screwing it up. And then he just blew up in my face. Like, I got so dumbfounded by this single event that I kind of just didn't know what to do. Anyways, head back over to Sanctuary, get in your suit of power armor, and head over to Fort Hagen via fast travel, and start the long, grueling walk over to Virgil's cave. Now, on my way over there, I happened across a couple of ghouls, but most importantly, a legendary ghoul. I swiftly take care of them with an explosive arrow, and then I grabbed this beautiful chess piece that was worse than my current one. So it's like worth 40 something caps. It honestly wasn't that great. Then I just continued to the cave past the children of Adam. I found this sleepy boy, and I was honestly so fucking cool that he just ran off, man. Like, I didn't even have to fight him. Enter the cave, and you kind of find this not so man, and turns out it's actually Virgil. And then he gives you some intel on where you might be able to find an Institute Courser for a Courser chip. Then make your way all the way over to the ruins of CIT, but I play this game too much and I don't even need to use the radio frequency, so just head straight over to Green Tech Genetics, because that's exactly where you're going to find yourself a beautiful, juicy, small man Courser. So upon entering, it seems barren, but making my way up, you can actually see a ton of gunners that I get to take out amongst the turrets. Now, I made my way up very, very slowly and didn't save the entire time, so when I get to this very beautiful bridge to cross, I end up finding the rocket person, get frozen, and then fucking blown up into small pieces. So upon entering, it seems barren, but alright. This time I actually spam saved my way all the way to the same spot, and then I actually end up killing the Rocket Man, who's burning up the fuse up here alone. Then finally, I find myself the Courser. I take my very balanced nuke arrow and VATS, probably redundant, but VATS, to just absolutely obliterate the hell out of the Courser thing. I'm leaving that in. Stick that motherfucking synth's head to the wall, so whoever comes and find her sees this beautiful decoration. Then I make my way outside to get my Courser chip analyzed. But first, let's stop over at the ballpark to sell some goodies from the Courser raid, and then enter the Old North Church. And we don't actually pray anything or praise anyone, we just head downstairs. Then, to enter the super secret cave, we get to enter the super secret password that nobody in their entire lives would ever guess. The railroad's password. So we put railroad in. A nice fucking password, idiots. And Desdemona, don't ask me, oh, how did you get in? Your password is your name. Like, what? Anyways, you tell them that you have a Courser chip, which instead of them making you go with Deacon and doing, oh, you guys gotta go raid our old facility, they actually just let you in. You cannot fast travel back, but they do let you into their base, of which you can then have Tom take the Courser chip, look at it, look at you, look back at it, take the Courser chip and give you the info, of which you then head all the way back to the Glowing Sea to meet Virgil and tell him that you have the stuff, man. And then he will actually give you the teleporter plans. Now is the time that I get to decide who I side with on the playthrough. The Brotherhood of Steel, the Railroad, the Institute, or the Minutemen. I end up choosing the Brotherhood of Steel, and with that I head all the way back to Cambridge to talk with Danse. Now, I thought this would end up skipping like the whole ArcJet thing and I go right to the Pridwin. Yeah, it definitely doesn't do that, and I have a fear that I have to do all of the Brotherhood stuff, and it doesn't skip it, but I'm sure the other quests I'll be able to skip because I think there's a dialogue option like, hey, I can get into the Institute. So, if it doesn't happen, foreshadowing. But I think it does skip it. It's been a hot minute. Anyways, so now we enter ArcJet, move through the barren waste field of robot parts, and find out that synths do in fact exist. Head over to this terminal where you can actually get the password for the other terminal to open the door, and upon opening the door, we find some synths doing some sneaky business, of which this guy I hit so hard that he just starts sliding and glitching everywhere. Then for whatever reason, everything just explodes in my face, I freak out, And then we head inside where he starts glitching even more. His body just flopping everywhere like a fucking bat out of hell. And honestly, this is my favorite playthrough of Fallout 4 ever because this is the most I've ran into these weird body physics and enemies flying, and I'm pretty sure it's the bow mod. So if you guys want some of this quality content for yourself, the bow will still be linked in the description. So yeah, honestly, it's a very good mod. Then we end up getting down to the engine, I light it up, and I watch Danse get blown by the fire. Then I just kind of chill back for a little bit because I end up writing the script part for this section, and Danse just kind of chills there. I kind of also wanted to see how long he just sits there. Then I head over, ask him how he's doing, UK hun, and then say, fuck it, I don't need the elevator, do some epic parkour stunts like it's The Office, and then get a laser weapon from the Tin Man after finding this thing, some transmitter or whatever. Then it's finally the choice. I join the Brotherhood of Steel. End up talking with Danse again back at the station, and you finally get told that you can actually board the Prydwen. And on your way up to it, just start vibing to some tunes. My arms that I might reach you. Enter the big blimp, speak to Kells, and find your way over to Maxon. Totally pay attention to his very important speech, and then finally tell him you have info on the plans of teleportation. Fun fact, I was wrong, and it doesn't actually skip anything, and you still have to do the stupid Brotherhood quests. If it doesn't happen, foreshadowing. But it's fine. Anyways, go downstairs, talk to the 4 people on the ship that you have to talk to, nab your personal storage items, and then go back to Maxon to then get told that there's a super mutant island that he would like you to take care of. Then go all the way back to find the Elder to finally tell him again about your teleportation plans, of which he will agree. You'll then get the Signal Interceptor quest to have it be built. Head on down to the ground once again, and make sure that you see Lieutenant Dan. Head over to Sanctuary to gather all of your junk supplies from within, and go back to deposit them in the Boston Airport building area. And then start the beautiful building process of the teleporter, of which I actually had all the items and I didn't have to go back out and collect any of them, so that was really good. I mean, just look at the thing. I used like 14 different generators because I put down 4 and the small one thinking I had enough, and then I had to put like 3 more. So, yeah, I play this game a lot and I still don't remember. And finally, you can make your way into the Institute. Find your son, then apparently your actual son, and put the network scanner into a random computer. Then head over and find yourself a woman named Madison Lee. I ended up actually failing the speech check here, and so there's a small little thing you can do to actually convince her. So head over to the FEV lab to collect yourself a holotape and then give it to her, which, after her listening to it, she will want to join back into the Brotherhood. After this, head back to the airport and learn about a communist destroyer named the Liberty Prime, and get ready for his reconstruction. Get the location of some magnets, and head over to the hospital to get yourself the magnet, and then head back and build the actuators. Now find out that the Iron Giant needs some weapons, so head over to Scribe Halen near the Glowing Sea. Get yourself the location of some pyramid with some nukes inside of it, and then start to head over to it. However, I end up getting absolutely annihilated by this rad scorpion, and then had to do it all over again. However, this time I got smart and fast traveled over to Virgil's Cave first, then headed over to the Sentinel site. End up failing 2 speech checks from this Child of Adam dude, and then even with their clothes on, you still fail them. However, the 3rd speech check I actually ended up passing, luckily, so he gave me the code, I entered the room and placed the beacon down. Head over to Ingram, and then finally activate Liberty Prime for the first time.
Liberty Prime, back online.
Find out that he needs some more power, and then remember that you have to go to Mass Fusion to obtain the core. Then I also remembered that I literally only have a fucking bow, and the amount of robots that come out after getting it. And after everything we have been through with the Brotherhood, we finally find out that Dance is actually a synth. And so, we head down to talk with the guy with glasses to find out a location. However, Halen comes across and tells me about some nonsense about not ending him, and then actually gives us the location. Her first mistake. I head over there, and on my way over I actually realized I was out of stim packs, but first, I quickly dispose of Mr. Robot Boy and head back to tell Maxon that the mission was a success. We then sell some stuff to Tegan, and head over Diamond City to get myself about 30-ish stim packs. Then head back, talk with Kells to get rid of some train fans, then one by one dispose of them on my kill list. Now I make my way over to Mass Fusion, where turns out when you go on the Vertibird, I thought you would have to use a minigun, but you actually don't. After a certain amount of time of just circling the building, you'll take too much damage and he'll allow you to drop down. So head in and let Ingram do most of the work on the way down, then go inside, get yourself a giant battery, explode some robots, and finally head back. However, before we activate Liberty Prime, we're going to go all the way back to the CIT ruins because I haven't discovered it, so we can discover it. And then finally, it is time to enter the Institute one last time. Activate the big robot.
Fusion core reinitialized. Liberty Prime, full system analysis. All systems powered. Weapons light. Mission: the destruction of any and all Chinese communists. Probability of Chinese victory: impossible.
And then fast travel over to CIT, because this actually skips the long walking sequence over to it. At this moment, I actually realized that the Institute was still on my compass, and so I thought maybe I could enter it and do some funky business. When entering, I got told about something to like live a meaningless life or whatever, and then have the all-state quarterback of the year fucking yeet a nuke into the ground. Then enter and start your mass genocide route. Whoa, whoa, California girls are unforgettable. TJ Duke's bikinis on top. Sun-kissed, ain't so hot to met your popsicle. Whoa, 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 whoa. Then find Sean and just put an arrow through his brain. California girls! If he still has one. Then get to the reactor, take some drugs, and just go ham. Finally, put the explosive down and leave, only to find your robot kid. Then he spouts some nonsense and just let him die inside like the rest. Fuck you. Fuck you, let me listen to Dave Chappelle. Then fully leave and press a red button. And then watch as the Institute blows up. And so the question at the start of this entire video was, can you beat Fallout 4 with only a bow and arrow? And the answer to that is yes. This was honestly one of my favorite playthroughs of Fallout 4 due to all of the glitchiness of this bow and arrow. And honestly, I had some extra funny moments when I wasn't even recording. However, even with the glitchiness, the mod is super fun, and especially adding the glitchiness makes it even better. If you'd like to try this challenge, the bow mod will be in the description, and I still believe it is also on Xbox, so even people who play on Xbox, you can get it and try this challenge yourself. Now, if you enjoyed the video, please let me know in the comments if I should make another Can You Beat style video, and also leaving a like is very much appreciated. Don't forget to subscribe to see more content, and most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, toasters and Apache attack helicopters, I have been your host, Zora, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Yeah, and also, Happy New Year, starting off the year with a banger. Bye!